after the great hurricane Iwa hit, the island and the sanctuary were destroyed. And to give you an idea how badly things were, it took a week for the streets to clear so that you could drive. In Hawaii, yes, in 1982, Hurricane Iwa. Kauai, yes. And the hurricane story is another story. We'll do some other time, but because that was fun. But this is something. This is something that I think of. I think about this every day, or many times a day. This particular moment. Sorry, I have to paint a little picture first. But the island was just utterly destroyed, and they opened a nearby school for a temporary dump, so people could because they could clear the roads, and because the dumps would be overwhelmed. And I packed a pickup truck with tall sides on it, 5 of those every day from November 23rd till February 1st. Never stopped, just fill the truck up. Just on our little 5 acres, it was destroyed. And now in Kauai, the trees there are unique. They're koa. A particular kind of hardwood that's different than just the usual jungle softwoods. And right after the roads had been cleared, Beloved wanted to go for a drive to tour and see the island. And I had just gone ahead of him with one of my other truckloads. Now, they had just cleared the roads with bulldozers, just to put the roughage, the riffraff off the roads. And there were piles of stuff all along the roads. And but as I was going, I piled my limbs high, and one of the limbs, about the size of my thumb, fell out. Big around, long, but small limb, like a toothpick in a forest, fell out. And right after that fell out, Beloved came along, and he went to the beach. They got a message back to me that I had dropped a stick. I was like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? And it was just like, I just like, and he says, Beloved, I want you to go back and find the stick that fell out of the truck. And I was like, it didn't make any sense to me. I'm just, I'm a farmer, old farm hick. It didn't make any sense to me at all, but I did it. I went and got that stick, and I picked it up, took it on my next run. It was easy to find because it was a koa limb, not a regular limb. And that night he looks up at me and he says, you have to take absolute control. You have to take absolute responsibility for everything you touch in your life. He says, if a stick falls out of your truck, go back and pick it up. And I think of that all the time because I'm just a lazy son of a gun bastard. I am, and so I'm always, my little cavalier, egoic smuck, I can get away with, I can skate the edges a little. No, you can't. And every time I pick up something, that I dropped, or I could, I see things and I go, no, pick it up and remember Him. And I think that's one of the great remembrances in my whole practice, ordinary life, is pick up that piece of paper, fold that cloth now, put your shoes back now. If I can remember it, do it. If I can bring it enough to consciousness, remember Him. It's so nice. It's just if you've touched it, if you can take you have to take absolute responsibility for everything you touch. Just don't slough it off. Don't be the cavalier schmuck that I know I am, and a lot of people are, and just use that as a form of remembrance of Him. And it reminds me of another time when He taught me about responsibility so directly. It was our job to buy the beer and cigarettes for our gatherings, since it wasn't an institutional thing. So we were broke. we were dead broke. I mean, just like, oh my God, every day was how are we going to get the money to buy the beer for the gathering tonight? And we usually drank 8 to 12 cases of beer a night with him, and cigarettes, and because he said because otherwise we'd be too boring, and which is true, and so we were. This is somewhere deep. This is deep in, and we're just like we're not eating. We don't have money, and we're calling the mainland our friends. Can you send us $20? I mean, we're really up the creek. So it was my job often to go down and buy the spirits, as it were, and I go in and I buy the spirits, have my own dolly, bring it in, to get the alcohol, and it's usually about $135, and he says, the guy goes, ching, 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 that'll be $34, and I went, $34. What? Okay, it's great. Oh my God, it's a miracle, And I get back in the truck and I look at the bill, and they charge me for 10 cartons, not 10 cases of beer. And I went, thank God, I've been giving these people hundreds of dollars every 2 days for months. By the time I got a break, that was kind of my, again, irresponsible, cavalier attitude. I drive back up, and I come into the gathering. It's a miracle. We were saved. I was so happy. And Master said, "What?" And I told him. He goes, "Oh, go turn right around, go right back down there, and pay the rest of it, and tell them you're sorry that you made a mistake." And I went, "Oh, I guess that's right."
Right.
And I didn't get it until I got down there, and I said, "I'm sorry, you made a mistake. Here, you charged us for 10 cases, cartons, not 10 cases." And he looked right at me and he went, "You're a saint." And I went, he says, "Do you know how many people are in the world are like you?" And I went, he goes on and on and on. If there were people like you in the world, it wouldn't be in a mess like it is now. And he went on and on and on about how you can take how heartened he was, how he brought heart, gave him such energy, because there was finally he's seen honesty in people again, and it was his conversion. And then he was speaking right through me. I was burning, because I had been the schmucks he was cursing, and he was actually speaking to Beloved, and I got to go back and tell Beloved that. It was really nice. So it's the little child moment.